Welcome to Balanced Bodies, the podcast where we make nutrition easy so you can focus on living your best life. I'm Anisha Gupta, a registered dietitian, and I'm here to help you achieve hormonal balance, blood sugar balance, and overall better health. As a busy mom myself, I understand how hard it can be to find the time and energy to focus on nutrition. But the truth is, our health is too important to ignore. That's why I created the Balanced Bodies podcast to provide practical tips and strategies for achieving optimal health without sacrificing your busy lifestyle. In each episode, we'll explore various nutrition topics and discuss the latest research and trends so you're always up to date. You'll get actionable tips so that you can start implementing today and make big moves towards a healthier and happier version of yourself. Whether you're struggling with PCOS or looking to find your healthiest weight, or maybe you're simply just wanting to feel your best, Balanced Bodies has got you covered. I'm here to support you wherever you are on your health journey, because at the end of the day, nutrition should be easy and enjoyable. So join me on this journey towards balanced bodies and better health. Subscribe to the Balanced Bodies podcast today, and let's make nutrition easy, one episode at a time. Today we're going to talk about the 5 signs of a sluggish metabolism and what you can do to fix it. So I know the metabolism is a really big topic for a lot of us, and a lot of us maybe don't even understand what the metabolism actually is. So I'm going to break that down for you today, and we're going to talk about how you can actually help yourself have a better metabolism. But let's start with understanding what is the metabolism. So our metabolism is a series of chemical reactions that happen in our body to help us undergo life. Okay, it's our body's natural safety net. It's the hormones and all of the things that our body needs to do to help it run like a well-oiled machine. It's really, really cool when you start to actually dive deep into understanding what our body is trying to do. And it helps us have energy balance, helps our weight remain stable, helps us have hormonal balance, helps us have a period. So many amazing, cool things happen when our metabolism is good. On the contrary, having a sluggish metabolism or having a slow metabolism is an indicator that our body is not working as efficiently as it could be. So you're still there, you haven't died, but your metabolism is struggling. It's struggling to have hormonal balance. You're struggling with energy. You're feeling tired all the time. Maybe you're unable to lose weight. There's so many different ways that our body shows that our metabolism is sluggish, and you're not going to feel your best. So I'm going to give you a couple of signs, 5 signs of how your body may be giving you signs that your metabolism is sluggish. And then we're going to go into what you can do to help yourself fix that. So the first one, let's talk about weight. So a lot of people come to me and say, I can't lose weight. I've done so many different diets. I'm not able to lose weight, and I gain weight easily. So if you're having massive fluctuations in your body, so you gain it easily, maybe you easily lose it, or maybe you don't lose it, but you're always gaining, that's a really good indicator that your metabolism is slow. Okay. So even though you've made changes in your diet, made changes with your exercise routine, you're not getting success, you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, very good chance that we can boost your metabolism to get you those results. So for example, what happens is if you have a sluggish metabolism, your body is now burning fewer calories to get the job done. So what that means is that your body is actually storing fat rather than burning it. It is feeling like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world and I need to store all this fat for a rainy day, because your body knows that fat gives you more energy long term. So it's a very efficient way to give you energy long term. So rather than burning your fat, your body is thinking, I'm going to store it. I'm going to do everything I can to hold on to that fat. I don't want to burn it because I need this energy. And this happens when we don't eat enough. So someone who is a chronic dieter, someone who has been restricting their calories, who's been eating less, they're inconsistent in getting the amount of food that their body actually needs. It creates a panic for the body. So the body is in a mindset of a squirrel, for example, who's hibernating for the winter. I got to store the nuts because in the winter, I'm going to need them. And our body is the same way. It's going to store the fat for a rainy day because it knows that who knows what the next time I'm going to eat properly. So it's storing your fat to help you survive for a longer period of time, because our body only cares about survival. It doesn't care about the size of your pants or the number on the scale. It only wants to survive. And slowing your metabolism is your body's way of surviving. Pretty cool. But not so cool when you have a slower metabolism and you're trying to get results. But overall, your body just cares about survival. So it's not going to burn your calories efficiently so that they last longer, which is going to prevent you from losing weight. It will also convert it into fats and store it for a rainy day, just like I was saying before, so that when you get onto your next diet, your body is thinking, well, I got to store it again. Who knows when I'm going to eat again? And your body is just thinking survival. So that's one really key way that I know that this person may have a slowish metabolism is if they're having trouble losing weight, or if they're a chronic dieter, because I know that your body is in this mode and it's going to have a harder time until we boost that metabolism. Your body's going to have a really hard time losing weight. It does not want to. Okay, number 2 is the sugar and carb cravings. So if you're the type of person who has a lot of sugar cravings, a lot of carb cravings, that tells me something. So sugar and carbs, they convert into glucose. They convert directly into glucose, which is our body's favorite source of energy. It's the one that converts the easiest. It's the easiest for our body to use. So our body likes things that are easy to do. But when we don't eat enough, because a lot of diets are restricting sugar, they're restricting carbs. If we're not eating enough, our body is not getting the energy that it needs. Okay. And insulin is a hormone. It's produced by the pancreas, and insulin helps move glucose from our bloodstream into our cells to be used for energy. So what that means is when we eat, the foods that we're eating, if they're carb heavy type of foods, like for example, pasta, it goes into our digestive system, it breaks down into glucose, and that glucose passes through to our bloodstream and gets delivered to all the cells of our body to be used for energy. But to move from the bloodstream into the cell, we need a hormone called insulin. So think of insulin like a key. It needs to open the door into the cell so that the sugar from your bloodstream can go from the bloodstream into the cell to be used for energy. Now the problem is that if our cells are not responding to the insulin, so the key is not working, the insulin key is not working, the sugar stays in our bloodstream and it doesn't get used. And this is called insulin resistance, when our body is no longer responding to the insulin and the sugar stays in our bloodstream. And our body thinks, well, our sugars are high. Hey, pancreas, go and release more insulin. And your pancreas ends up getting overworked. Your body's going to release more insulin, trying to get that sugar to come down in your bloodstream, which doesn't fare well for your body. So metabolism can really mess with having high sugar. And when you're having a lot of sugar and carb cravings, that's a really good indicator. So we want to be able to nourish our body and feed our body, not overly excessive carbs, but within a balance. We don't want to restrict carbs. We don't want to restrict sugar. We want to be mindful of our sugar intake, mindful of our carb intake, but not take it out completely and think that we don't need it as a means to reduce weight. Okay, number 3, key factor that I see with my clients: brain fog and exhaustion. I have a hard time saying that word, exhaustion. Okay, so fatigue. If you are tired, that's a good indicator that you don't have the energy that your body is looking for. And remember, glucose is energy. Your carbs are energy for the body. So people who are restricting their carbs are often tired. If you're not getting consistent meals throughout the day, you're going to be more tired. You're going to be more fatigued. You're going to feel more lethargic. Your body isn't efficient at giving you the energy that you need throughout the day. Now, this can also be related to lack of sleep, and lack of sleep can impact your metabolism as well, because now your body is running on cortisol and stress hormones and adrenaline, and there's a whole other side of that. But brain fog and exhaustion, our brain only runs on glucose, by the way. Our brain doesn't run on anything else. The rest of the body can run on different forms of energy, but our brain only runs on glucose. So if you're in a position where you are not giving your body proper nutrition, your brain's not going to function properly, and that's going to result in brain fog. Okay, number 4, this is particularly for women. So having an irregular menstrual cycle or having fertility problems could be an indicator of a sluggish metabolism as well. So having a period is actually a privilege for our body. Our body takes care of our basic needs first, like our human body's needs first, before it decides that it can have a period and would be able to sustain new life. You having a period and getting pregnant is your body's way of saying that, hey, I'm in good health. We can have life. We can create new life. We're totally good with that. Your body is always going to take care of you first, baby second. Even when it comes to breastfeeding, body takes care of your nutrition first, breastfeeding comes second. Okay. Now, this isn't true for everybody, because even though you could be in good health, you may not have a period and you may not be able to get pregnant. So I'm not saying that this is true for every single person, but a lot of athletes lose their period because they are not fueling their body properly. Women who exercise very heavily end up losing their period. It's called amenorrhea, because they aren't fueling their body. They're working out super hard and their body is not getting enough fuel to be able to have a period and feel healthy. Okay, so pregnancy isn't easy on a person's body. And if we're barely able to keep ourselves balanced, we definitely wouldn't be able to support a newborn or support another person or support a pregnancy with a baby inside and help them grow if we can't even take care of ourselves. So your body will not ovulate, your body will not have a period for a longer period of time, or just not have a period at all. So eating enough is also very important, and that can be a sign that metabolism is slower. I work a lot with women who have PCOS. So it's true even for women with PCOS, but it's not just a metabolism thing. It also comes with balancing hormones. So I work a lot with women who have lost their period or never had consistent periods since their period had started, and have now, since working with me, gotten a consistent period, which is amazing. And we did that with making sure that they're getting enough food throughout the day, balancing their hormones, understanding what type of additional nutrients they need, knowing that they have PCOS. So it doesn't happen for every single client. I don't want to mislead you, but for a lot of women, once you start exploring and understanding the science behind what's going on in your body, it's really, really cool. And the way that science is now, we do have more answers than we did a decade ago. And I'm learning that every day, which is really cool. Okay, the 5th one is cold intolerance and feeling cold, even at warmer temperatures. So if you're someone who is always wearing a sweater, everybody else is wearing lighter clothing than you, and you still feel cold, there's a good chance that your metabolism is slower. Our body, again, is really, really cool that it does everything it can to keep our body temperature stable. So we sweat in hot temperatures to keep ourselves cooler, and those who live in colder places in the world tend to have longer noses to give the outside air a little bit more of an opportunity or a little bit more time to warm up before it comes into the lungs. So I don't know if you ever knew this before, but people who come from colder temperatures, like I know here where I am in Canada, there's lots of ethnicities everywhere, and we have heat inside our houses, but traditionally where you came from, where your origins came from, so people who live in colder countries, they have longer noses compared to people who live in hotter countries. So closer to the equator, you may notice that the people living there will have smaller noses. Their body doesn't need to work as hard to warm up the outside air. Pretty cool. And did you know that shivering mobilizes our muscles, which keeps us warm? So that's also really, really cool. Our body has all these built-in mechanisms to help us stay at homeostasis, have a balance. So our body's ability to keep ourselves warm really depends on our ability to adapt to a change in temperature. So for example, with every 1 degree that the temperature changes, the chemical reactions of our body increase by 10%. Now, if you are having a low metabolism, having a low body temperature will actually help reduce your metabolic rate, meaning that your body doesn't have to work as hard to stay warm. So your body will feel colder, even though everybody else's body temperature is the same. Their body doesn't need to work as hard to keep themselves warm. Your body is struggling to keep you warm, which is why you feel cold in warmer temperatures. You will still feel cold because your body is trying to be more efficient with warmth. It doesn't want to work as hard. So it's trying to find whichever ways that it can to work a little bit less. Okay, so those are the top 5 reasons that I wanted to talk to you about today in terms of ways that you can think about if you have a sluggish metabolism. Let's dive into how we can fix it. So my number one thing that I want you to take away from this, if nothing else, is ditch the diet mentality. Okay? These constant fluctuations of eating less and then eating more and doing like diet after diet after diet is doing a massive number on your metabolism. There's something called the set point for body weight. So this is the natural place where your body feels comfortable, where like the natural size of your body or the number on the scale. And this is where your metabolism is working well. So remember early on today, I said that you have a good metabolism if your weight is fairly stable. Like it's natural that weight goes up and down, but we shouldn't see massive fluctuations in our weight over time. So this is very much dictated by genetics, but it's not an exact number on the scale, but it's a bit of a range. So research has shown that with every diet that people go on and off of, they end up increasing their body's natural set point, meaning that in the long term, this set point range increases to protect us from future famine, aka the next diet that you're going to go on. Very interesting. So I want to give you an example of a client that I'm working with right now. She's been with me for quite a while, but she likes to go to the gym. She works out regularly, which is cool. And throughout our journey together, she'd get to these points where she'd plateau. She's not losing weight anymore. She's not gaining muscle. She likes to lift weights and she's not seeing that progress. And she comes from a dieting mindset. So we're continuously working on her mindset to get her out of that diet mentality, but it's hard. And I recognize that it's really hard for people. So one of the things that we've tried is increasing her intake. And I know she was skeptical about it because she's like, no, I'm trying to lose weight here. Like, why would I eat more? But she trusted me and she did. And she became more consistent with her meals and just making sure she's having the correct amount of grains and even increased her grains to help her sustain her workouts. That was my mindset of why we need to increase it, is because you're working out hard and your body's not getting enough of it. You're not getting enough energy and fuel from your food, which is why you're not getting results. So long story short, over time, we started to see her inches go down and she was getting gains in the gym now because she was actually eating more and her body needed that amount of energy. So, which was really cool. So just let you know, if you're someone who's struggling and working out a lot and not getting the results, it's very likely that you're not fueling your body efficiently. And we need to create some hormonal balance and give you the energy that your body is actually looking for so your body can trust you again and knows that, hey, I don't need to store this as fat anymore because I trust you. You're going to eat. I'm going to get the energy again. I don't need to save for a rainy day. It's not raining anytime soon. We're good. So that's the mentality that we want from our body. That's the mindset our body should be in. I'm just laughing because mindset and mind and our body, and I don't know if you get it or not, but it sounds funny in my head. But anyways, next point of how to fix a sluggish metabolism: eat at regular meal times. So be consistent with it. And what that means is have balanced meals, but can eat throughout the day. It's not that we're sporadically eating. I want you to have a meal that's going to keep you full for at least 3 to 4 hours. longer periods of starvation, like when people do intermittent fasting, for example, they actually make your body run on stored energy, which slows your metabolism because now your body's kind of inconsistent with its energy and your body starts struggling and wants to store things for fat because tomorrow we're going to again go 16 hours without eating. So we need to have some fats. And who knows, what if we lose those 2 meals that we're eating every day and now we're not getting those anymore? What's going to happen? We got to have this extra fat to keep our body energized. We need to store for a rainy day. So eating at regular meal times, breakfast is huge. I really, really promote breakfast a lot. But lunch and dinner are just as important. Breakfast really sets the stage for the rest of your day. So if you're someone who's skipping breakfast, this is your sign. Eat breakfast. Doesn't matter if you're not hungry or not. That's your body's reaction to you not because your body hasn't been having breakfast. You will start to get hungry. Once you start to get consistent with the routine of having something in the morning, your body will start to feel hungry. Trust me with that one. Okay. Number 3, implement good sleep hygiene. So our body needs rest, so we aren't running on stress hormones. Our stress hormones are cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And when we're running on cortisol all day, all the other hormones, or not all the other hormones, but it really takes a toll on our adrenal hormones, our adrenal glands. And our adrenal glands, they focus on stress number 1. Everything else happens after that. So your other hormonal functions, they sit on the back burner. Your body's constantly trying to flush out all of this cortisol and try to understand what's going on with the stress and deal with the stress. That's primary. And after that, then your body will deal with the other things. But stress is number 1. So if you can reduce your stress, that allows your body to focus on the other hormones and create hormonal balance. So really, really important. And sleep plays a huge role in how you manage stress. If you think about it, if you didn't sleep well, what's your mood like the next day? Probably not good. How's your brain fog? Probably not good. How much caffeine are you intaking? Probably a lot. And in terms of your food choices, what are your food choices like when you are tired compared to when you're not tired? For most people, they're going to go for the quick, easy packaged meals. When people are tired, they don't want to be chopping vegetables. And I know that I don't want to. It takes extra effort, and you don't want to do any extra effort. You may even be ordering your meals in on the days that you're tired because it's just one less thing for you to worry about and do. You just don't have the energy for it. So everything, it's a ripple effect from when you are not sleeping properly. It makes it harder and harder for you. So sleep is very, very important. And the next one is drinking enough water. So this is also really important for your metabolism. Our body is 70% water, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure on that stat, but our body needs a lot of water. So if we're not drinking enough, our body is struggling. It's on the struggle bus. So I generally recommend about 2 to 3 liters, but it depends day to day and depends person to person. If you're someone who sweats a lot, your water needs may be different. Your water needs may be different when you go to the gym compared to when you're not going to the gym. Your water needs may be different if you're someone who sweats a lot when you're sleeping. Or like me, I have a job where I'm talking a lot. And the days that I'm working, I definitely, 1, I drink more water, but number 2, I know that I need a lot more water. So making sure that you are hydrating throughout the day, really, really important to help with boosting your metabolism. And number 5 is exercise. So to help boost metabolism, we want to do exercise that includes cardio and resistance training. So this can help with balancing your blood sugars. It helps with boosting your metabolism, happy hormones, giving you strength and energy. So many amazing things happen when we start to move our body in a way that supports our health. So mentally, physically, emotionally, we release happy hormones when we exercise. We release happy hormones. So it definitely ties together, but it should be movement that you enjoy. I don't want you to be doing things just for weight loss. I want you to find something that you really truly enjoy, something that makes you happy, something that you can stick to long term. I don't want your exercise mindset to be, while I'm losing weight, I'm trying to lose weight, and once the weight loss is gone, you fall off the wagon and you stop exercising because you've gotten to your weight goals. That's not how it should be. I want you to be able to find an activity that you enjoy, something that brings you happiness, something that you can continue to do long term. And this can adjust and change as the years go by, of course. Your strength and ability and, your mindset will be different at different stages of your life, which is totally okay. But I want you to find enjoyment in what you're doing for movement. Okay. And last but not least, get your hormone levels checked. So hormone imbalances are really the key starting point to help you get direction on what your body actually needs so that you can make changes accordingly. There's different testing out there. Talk to your doctor, talk to a dietitian, message me if you want to, but there is lots of different ways to get your hormones tested, find out what your levels are so that you can get recommendations that are customized for you, what you need, because blanket statements can only take you so far, but having the actual numbers to work with so you can see changes over time, see if these actionable items, these goals that you've now created, maybe from listening to this podcast today, if you make these changes, how does your health benefit? How does your numbers look? How do you actually feel? So always taking a moment to look and see, how do I feel since I've made these changes? But also, let's get the blood work done. Let's get the hormonal testing done. What's showing up inside of me? And that's a great way to really take it to the next level, take your health under control in your own hands and really play it forward and look into the future and create those healthy habits that we're looking for so that you can have that balance that your body wants. And of course, being patient and consistent with these lifestyle changes is huge. It can take a lot of time to see improvements in your metabolism, but these benefits will last a long time. It will be a lifelong of benefits that you're going to be having. You're going to age gracefully when things are moving well and are going well for your overall health and well-being. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Balanced Bodies podcast. Remember, achieving optimal health is a journey, and it's all about finding balance in our busy lives. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't just keep me to yourself. Share it with a friend or a family member that needs to hear it. Also, I'm inviting you to join me on Instagram at hello.nutrition for even more content, behind-the-scenes peeks, and daily inspiration. Follow me and stay connected and be part of my growing community of balanced bodies. If you have questions or topics that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, reach out. Your feedback is invaluable to me. I want to share with you the topics that matter with you the most. And of course, don't miss out on the next episode of Balanced Bodies. Hit that subscribe button now and stay tuned for even more invaluable insights and inspirations for the future. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode of the Balanced Bodies podcast. This is your host, Anisha Gupta, registered dietitian, signing off from Balanced Bodies for today. Wishing you, my sweet, sweet friend, a fantastic day ahead. Subscribe now and let's make nutrition easy and enjoyable together.